Tonight on Canyons News, we look into how drugs can take a toll on someone's life.
We talk with one COC professor on his insights about our newly named 27th Congressional District.
And finally, we look at the career of a COC coach who's returning after 6 years. Canyons News starts now.
With news from across the Santa Clarita Valley, this is Canyons News.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Canyons News. I'm Stuart Carpel.
And I'm Haley Wilson, and here's the latest from the Canyons newsroom.
113 families gathered in Santa Clarita in honor of their loved ones who died in traffic accidents at this year's Evening of Remembrance in Santa Clarita. For one family, it was a time to celebrate.
In life, sometimes we choose our paths. Other times, our paths are chosen for us. Kimberly Gallegos is living the pathway that was chosen for her. Her son Sebastian, known to his family and friends as Bash, saw his life taking many different paths.
He aspired to be lots of things. A professional model, a comedian, I think. He wanted to be a husband. He wanted to be a father.
For Kimberly, it was 3 years ago on the chilly day of November 20th when her paths changed forever. Bash, her only son, was killed in a car accident.
Almost 3 years later, there's still a state of shock that accompanies this loss. People have said there's no greater loss than a child, and I couldn't agree more. I didn't know loss, I didn't know pain, I didn't know my heart could physically hurt like it does.
And despite the whirlwind of emotions, Kimberly sees Santa Clarita's annual Evening of Remembrance as a time to celebrate.
The city putting this on for all of us, I think, is such a kind gesture. They don't have to do this, and they do it. And I think it's an opportunity for us to come together, to remember our loved ones.
Through all their grief, Kimberly and her family find a way to continue on.
I do. I try and put one foot in front of the other to make him proud of me, because I know he doesn't want me to fall apart. I try to start every day with something that I'm grateful for, and I try every day to count my blessings because they could be gone. So that's, one of the lessons obviously we carry with us now, is that here one day, gone the next.
Reporting for Canyons News, I'm Asia Haskin.
Drug addiction is a tough fight for anyone that is going through it. Andres Sosa talks to an expert about his own battle with addiction and how he's helping many right here in Santa Clarita.
In life, sooner or later, we have to fight our own demons. And 40 years ago, Kerry Quashen exactly did that.
I've been in treatment now, for 40 years. What happened is 40-something years ago, I had my own issues with drugs, and I decided that I needed to get clean. After I got out of rehab, I wanted to kind of pass my experiences to other people so they didn't have to go through some of the crap that we have to go through when we're using drugs. And it's been my life passion now for, 41 years.
After 40 years of sobriety, Kerry takes a look back on what caused him to use substances in his life.
Because I had a father that was an addict, and we moved back and forth from New York and stuff like that. There was a lot of violence in the house, and I got caught up at a young age in alcohol and drugs and gangs and that kind of stuff. And there comes a time when I was about 25 years old, I just had enough. I was tired of being sick and tired, and life was not very good, and I needed to do something different fast.
With achieving the biggest victory over in his life, Kerry is still disappointed in the path he chose to take.
I made a decision, I knew better. Somebody said, wow, you got 41 years clean and sober, you should be so proud of yourself. Yeah, I am, but I knew better. I watched what it did to my own father, and I was like, I should never have done that. And
for Kerry and his long battle of drugs and alcohol, it pushed him now to become the president of Action Drugs and Rehab Center in Santa Clarita, and would like to send a message to the people about their newest battle of drug yet, the battle against fentanyl.
Every time you use today, you're playing Russian roulette. It's not with one bullet, it's with 2 bullets. You don't know what you're buying. Chances are everything on that street is going to be fentanyl. It's not worth playing with, man. It's a game changer, and for any parent out there that used to think, hey, it's a rite of passage for my kid to get high, it is not.
For Canyons News,
It's a rite of passage into something terrible.
I'm Andres Sosa.
Santa Clarita still leads LA County in fentanyl-related deaths, and now local officials from law enforcement to educators are trying to reverse the trend. Here's Haley Wilson with the story.
Since the start of COVID-19, drugs have been at an all-time high for Santa Clarita. With an increase in deaths, the community starts to make change with resolutions to lower drug use for the safety and health of their children. Parents and other organizations find out the reasons their children use drugs and why.
So it can be for a variety of reasons. It could be from outside stressors like school, peer pressure, bullying. Sometimes mental illness can play a component to that, predisposition, things of that nature.
Santa Clarita Valley is hit with the stats and number of rising deaths from drug overdose. Among others, fentanyl has become the deadliest drug which has taken the lives of many teenagers since 2020. The Sheriff's Station answers the questions on how to monitor what kids are doing and ways to keep them away from drugs.
We want to really humanize, the badge and the uniform. Our school resource deputies have done a great job of that, but we only have 7 school resource deputies on our Hart campuses. We've got a station of hundreds of deputy sheriffs. So this kind of just shows the human side of it. We're going to have a lot of Q&A with our personnel during the symposium. So I think people are really just going to see, the human side of policing and working with the community.
With many resources, such as what specific drugs are being used and how they are being used, the community finds common ways to come together, making sure their teenagers and children are doing things the correct way. For Canyons News, I'm Haley Wilson. The 27th annual River Rally was held in the Santa Clarita River just off the bike trail. Reporter Napoleon Province III has more on the community beautification event.
Santa Clarita has been making the effort to keep the community clean over the last decade plus, but with the population growing every single year, there's always going to be more trash to pick up. This year's mass cleanup brought out a wide range of volunteers, from children tagging along with their parents to senior citizens that have been here since the first river cleanup.
Well, my school was talking about how they were going to have a river rally day, so we started doing a presentation for our junior leader class, and then I wanted to sign up to help the community.
The city has been hosting the Environmental Expo alongside the River Rally for quite some time now, and it's filled with different organizations and businesses trying to spread their knowledge about the environment and positive effects that we can have on it as a city. Organizations like SCV Water and the Discovery Cube had booths both set up at the expo ready to inform the youth on the best way they can make a difference. And the Plaza Rita Nature Center had a very interactive presentation with embalmed species that live on the land, as well as a few species of snake.
It's always good to help out your community, but here at the Santa Clarita River, we're actually making a difference.
I think it has a big impact. I noticed that every year that we do this, more and more people show up. I heard that we had over 1,300 volunteers this year. And even with COVID, and when we didn't have the River Rally, we came up where we did neighborhoods. You just, instead of coming to the river, you just walk around your neighborhood and pick up trash. And lots of people turned out. There's a very strong community here.
Remember, always try to be the change you want to see in your community. And if you ever see some trash on the floor, pick it up. Signing off from Canyons News, I'm Napoleon Province III.
Have you or your pet ever been attacked by another unleashed pet? Maybe you know someone who has. A resident of Santa Clarita whose 4-legged friend was a victim of this terrible incident tells us his experience. To this day, officials of Santa Clarita have not provided any laws against pet owners who've allowed their unleashed animals to attack another pet or citizen. The issue has become an ongoing problem for pet owners, including Santa Clarita resident Adam Todd, whose dog was attacked on a walk in his own neighborhood.
On this route, I know there's 2 dogs at this house that are always left out. but they're behind a gate, so I never worry about them. So I was walking my dog past the house with the two dogs, and all of a sudden I see the gate open, and the two dogs charged out at me and my dog. I was shocked to see these big animals growling and coming right at me. I didn't know if they were going to attack me or my dog.
Adam was worried for the safety of his dog as well as his own health, but what concerned him more was that no one could be held accountable for the incident.
I asked the police, what if that dog had attacked me? What if that dog had ripped my arm off? And would the owners of the dog be criminally liable? And the police said no.
I would make sure you get all the documentation about any damage that the attacking dog did. And once you have all that information, I would go to a local lawyer who handles specifically these types of cases and start a civil suit in court.
For Canyons News, I'm Stuart Carpel.
This past Sunday, the Valencia Westfield Mall partnered with the Blue Star Mothers and unveiled a display in remembrance of fallen veterans. Leonardo Hernandez tells us how some veterans are remembering our fallen heroes.
The price of peace that only a warrior understands.
This past Sunday at the Valencia Westfield Mall, the Blue Star Mothers, along with veterans and support from the community, gathered to unveil a memorial for the soldiers killed in action.
Remember the Fallen means that we pay honor and tribute to all the servicemen and women who have given their life for our country. These men and women have volunteered freely to serve our country, to protect our country and all those within our country, and they have freely done that and get paid the ultimate price doing that. I would encourage people to seek out different organizations, maybe veterans organizations, see how they can volunteer, maybe donate some of their time and service and honoring those who have fallen in that way.
People are encouraged to come to look at the memorial and pay their respects to the fallen. Although they may be gone, they are never forgotten.
This memorial means everything to me. These were my brothers and sisters. These were the soldiers who stood shoulder to shoulder with me in Iraq. Some of them saved my life and the lives of their fellow brothers and sisters. I made it a point to learn the names of all of the fallen soldiers that I encountered during my time in Iraq so that I could say their names, so that I could share their stories. Go out there, talk to the veterans, ask them what their service was like. Just share in the moment with them. It means everything to us.
For Canyons News, this has been Leonardo Hernandez signing off.
Coming up next on Canyons News, Election Day is just 6 weeks away. A COC professor breaks down an important local race.
And the COC coaching legend returns. Stay tuned.
In a home fire, can your family safely escape in 2 minutes?
I heard my oldest son holler for mommy, and all I could see was smoke. The boys, we never really worked with them, I guess, on telling them what to do if there's a fire. We lost our child. We lost everything.
Make sure you can safely escape a fire. Practice your 2-minute drill. Test your smoke alarms monthly. Make your plan today.
day, time can disappear. Wanna make it count, why not volunteer?
Posting pics of your food, that takes up time. Time, you've got time to binge all of season 9, though it got so bad.
Time, you got time. We're gonna grow back and be the same browse you had.
Just a few hours to keep families from harm. Help us end home fires with Sound the Alarm.
Volunteer for a day to install free smoke alarms in your community.
Okay, which one is better? 1 or 2? 1 or 2? 1 or 2? 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2, 1. Nearly 1 billion people live with completely avoidable vision loss. Don't be one of them. Get your eyes checked.
The November 8th midterm elections are less than 41 days away, and the top Republican and Democrat candidates are getting their message out to the people. Reporter Jeff Lozick has more on the race for California's 27th congressional district.
I don't look at the gun as the problem. I look at the guy behind the gun that
Signs are up on fences and out on lawns as election season kicks into full swing. As candidates vying to represent the newly redistricted 27th congressional seat, which covers the Antelope and Santa Clarita Valleys, get their message out to voters by hosting dueling town hall meetings.
we all just crave security, and we want to make sure that we're staying safe here.
Starting right here at College of the Canyons, the Republican representing the 25th District, Mike Garcia, held his town hall meeting. Garcia spoke to the crowd about his legislative achievements and plans to oppose new gun regulation, fight government waste, and increase border security to help fight drug trafficking.
Said, and Sheriff Villanueva said a few weeks ago in a town meeting that this is affecting young children and normal residents of Santa Clarita as well. He had up there a slide that 21 individuals just within this year within Santa Clarita have died due to fentanyl overdose.
A little bit to the south, at Wiley Canyon Elementary School, Democrat Christy Smith held her town hall event, where she explained to a packed auditorium her plans, if elected, to support and defend the access to abortion, protect the right to vote, and pursue new gun regulations.
She is a great gun sense candidate. She believes in gun sense laws and legislation, so I'm proud to support her.
For Smith, after losing the last election by just 333 votes, she is looking to avoid another second-place finish by sending her message straight to the voters.
I'm very much still the same person that I was in the last cycle, but we don't have the pandemic keeping us from being in public spaces like this, being able to deliver our messages and talk to voters. And, you know, the shape of the district has changed with redistricting, so we know that the vote result this time is likely to be very different than it was in the last cycle.
For Canyons News, I'm Jeff Lozick.
The race for the 27th congressional seat could be the closest contest in the state, if not the entire country. COC Poli-Sci professor Carl Stripe gives his opinion on the race.
Jeff Lozick here for Canyons News, here at the Political Science Department to speak to one of the professors to get their opinion on the 27th district elections. So the last election in this district was only decided by 333 votes. Do you feel this time around it's going to be that close of an election?
The new district is slightly different from the old 25th district insofar as the Simi Valley, which was part of the 25th, is no longer part of the 27th district. So that area was more Republican, and as such, having lost that area might do something to help Christy Smith and her chances as the Democratic nominee potentially unseat Mike Garcia this time around.
For the issues most affecting this election, do you believe it's going to be abortion rights or gun issues, or is it going to be kitchen table issues such as inflation and gasoline prices?
Really, in most elections, this one included, the economy tends to be the main driver of turnout, right? As was famously said in 1992 by the Bill Clinton campaign, it's the economy's stupid, and it continues to be the economy stupid, right? And inflation, of course, is bad, the worst it's been in 40 years, and this will likely harm the Democratic Party. And likely, too, in most elections, following presidential elections, the party that won the presidential election tends to lose seats in the election following. So historical trends, as well as the current economic environment, don't necessarily favor the Democrats as much as the Republicans.
For politically minded students, where could they meet on campus and to discuss these issues if they wanted to educate themselves?
Well, I'm glad you asked. We have the Political Science Department, a club, Political Science Club. We meet every Tuesday at 4 p.m. in Hasley 306, as well as online via Zoom. You can find the Zoom link at the club website, which is on the department website. And yeah, every Tuesday we talk about ongoing political events. So this Tuesday we'll be talking about...
COC's Canyon Country campus turns 15 this year. Reporter Lindsay Tolles takes us up to the hills to find out how the campus has expanded its opportunities for students. There isn't much noise here. Up in the mountains and isolated from traffic, students walk across campus to the soundtrack of the wind. For 15 years, the Canyon Country campus has been one of COC's best kept secrets. But in just the last few years, real changes have started to take root.
The new heart of downtown Canyon Country, if you will, with 3 beautiful new well-appointed buildings, state-of-the-art labs, great lecture spaces, meeting spaces, services, designed with that planning process to serve the latest and greatest needs of the college.
What started as a 70-acre property in the hills is slowly but surely growing into its own space, with the new Don Takeda Science Center opening last year and construction constantly ongoing.
So we have 3 permanent buildings planned. The first one was our Science Center, which is now open. The second is our Student Services and Learning Resources Center, which is opening very soon. And then a third building, which will be due east, immediately to the east of these 2 projects, which would provide some additional instructional space.
The Canyon Country campus is becoming not just an extension of the Valencia campus, but its own environment, with an emphasis on STEM classes.
I think the future offerings at Canyon Country, we'll see what that Ed Master Plan dictates, but I certainly expect additional STEM classes and pathways.
The campus has also cultivated its own unique campus culture and offerings.
Uniquely to us here, you have these beautiful vistas of the hills behind you. We're a little bit more of a sky dark environment, so we'll do things like movie nights and community festivals under the stars, dinners under the stars, astronomy, science talk events. So we take advantage of some of the things that are unique about the Canyon Country campus.
This year marks the campus's 15th year anniversary, as well as the year the master plan for the campus is reviewed for what's yet to come. For Canyons News, I'm Lindsay Tolles.
The EMT program here at College of the Canyons celebrates its 50th year anniversary this Thursday. George Camacho takes a closer look at what the program has offered over the past half-century.
Since 1972, COC's EMT program has nurtured thousands of students. Right here in Towsley Hall, students participate in an intense program.
You can expect a lot of work and a lot of stress. We only have 1 semester to get you ready to work on an ambulance. Coming from just straight off the street, no medical background, that's a whole lot to absorb. So it's a very fast-paced class.
As one of the few schools in the country to have multiple simulators assist their curriculum, COC prepares their students on how to administer basic emergency services in simulated real-life scenarios.
One of the things we try to teach our students during the course of the semester is how to manage the stress of the class. Because if they have those stress management tools and resources and those become habits for them, they're better able to manage stress when they actually get out on the street and they're taking care of real patients.
The skills they learn not only make a positive impact on their lives, but to the community that it has cultivated throughout the years, it means so much more.
This program is their home. We're their home base. They don't just come back to help. A lot of them do. Most of the skills instructors that you've been seeing and talking to today are graduates of our program, and they're happy to come back after they graduate and help future students in the program. They help us with our orientation. They go to the student study groups on their own time and help them study and help them succeed in the program.
Students get to build a foundation for their future, all while being a part of a storied program.
The second oldest program in the county. And LA County is known as the home of EMS. A lot of EMS started here in LA County. So to be the second oldest program in LA County and have been faithfully producing EMT graduates for 50 years, that's mind-blowing. It's a huge impact to the community. It's hard to walk into a fire station anywhere in LA County and not find a COC EMT graduate.
The celebration takes place this Thursday at COC's Culinary Education Plaza from 9 to 10:30 a.m. For Canyons News, I'm George Camacho.
With so many students back on campus after 2 years, there may be some groups on campus students didn't know about. Lindsay Tolles explores one of the groups right here on the Valencia campus.
As students make their way back to campus, they may find themselves faced with time to kill between classes. Some students might choose to wander or sit in silence in the library, but the Multicultural Center offers something different.
I often hear students were like, sometimes I'm on campus early, but it doesn't matter anymore because I can come to the MCC and I can come hang out. There's people that they can connect with. There's people that can conversate with. I get a lot of students who are new to the campus, right? Hey, I don't really know too many people on campus yet. Well, guess what? Now you know me. Now you know some of the regulars that come into the Multicultural Center, right? Now there's a place for you to come connect with other students, to come share ideas.
The MCC isn't just a place for relaxation, it also serves as a hub for students for education and engaging with different cultures.
One of the good things that I think I love about the Multicultural Center is that we have our alliances under the Multicultural Center, and if you don't know what our alliances are, they act as support groups for our students across campus. We have 9 of them. So that's one of the big initiatives, just one of the initiatives with the Multicultural Center.
Initially formed in 2020, this year serves as the first for the MCC to reach students on campus. The MCC is currently located in the cafeteria, but its permanent location is set to open next semester in Bonelli Hall as more students take interest.
My hope is that the students come to learn that this is a place for them to connect, grow, and to just be.
For Canyons News, I'm Lindsay Tolles.
Hispanic Heritage Month continues with a celebration and highlighting of local businesses. Michelle Underwood tells us more.
On September 21st, the COC Workforce and Economic Advancement Group held an event for Hispanic Heritage Month, celebrating local businesses and their success in the community.
Connection with businesses here in our community. And we chose Hispanic Heritage Month to celebrate because, of course, we have a strong and vibrant Hispanic heritage culture in our community, in our state, in our nation. And we wanted to really celebrate business owners with a Hispanic heritage.
For the event, they gave out refreshments like sweet breads, fresh juice, and coffee. Afterward, they played some games where they gave out awards, and a Mexican cultural dance with mariachis. After the event, there was a small fair held near the art gallery, where different groups in the campus provided for Hispanic students information and help to grow in their education.
For students, like whether it's like a book voucher, a meal voucher, we're really just here to like support students and like whatever it is that they may need. We really want to make sure that they can focus on their school and anything else, like, we really want to make sure that we eliminate any boundaries that they may be facing so they can really focus on what's important, which is their education, so they can further themselves.
I'm Michelle Underwood for Canyons News.
Santa Clarita is looking sharp with a little help from a local barbershop. Canyons News reporter Evan Evora tells us how one local barber cut his way to success.
From running a business to cutting hair, Andre Marquez ensures that everyone who enters Commonwealth Barbershop leaves with a big smile and a new look to match.
My name's Andre. I'm a barber and owner of Commonwealth.
Starting school in Panorama City and Reseda, Andre quickly learned what it meant to be a barber.
I really like the atmosphere of a barbershop. Just coming in, hanging out, the smells in here, the conversations, the music. I just really liked everything about being a barber.
Meeting new people every day and seeing returning customers walk in keeps the barbershop alive and vibrant.
Yeah, I have clients that I've been cutting their hair for maybe 8-9 years. So I've pretty much grown with them. I know everything that they're doing every week. I know what their kids are doing, how they're doing in school. And so, yeah, I think most of my clients, old-time clients, I bonded with pretty good.
Business was good, and people continued to walk in and out that door. However, no one saw what was coming next.
We were shut down for maybe about like 3 months straight. I would say most of my friends got COVID. My family got COVID. We actually all got it together during the holidays.
During hard times, when getting a haircut was illegal due to social restrictions, the store still found a way to survive.
Luckily, I had saved right before, so we did get a little bit of assistance from the government, but for the most part, just saving.
With many small businesses still recovering from COVID, Andre still had plans.
Well, I'm really liking what's coming about Commonwealth, really seeing it grow a lot bigger in the last year for sure. So just seeing how it goes in the next years, I maybe want to open up a second shop. If you keep trying, doing something that you love, it'll always work out in the end.
This is Evan Navor, reporting live for Canyons News.
The women's volleyball team had a rough couple matches within the last week of fighting for that W. Canyons played last Friday against a local neighboring college. Did the Cougars continue with another loss, or did they take home the W? The COC women's volleyball team served the visiting Brahmas of Pierce City College last Friday in the Cougar Cage to end their losing streak. The Cougars gained their first set with a 25-11 lead, putting Canyons 1-0. Cougars' very own Brianna Botello was dominating the court that night with 11 kills, 3 digs, and contributed 13 points for their victory that night. Canyons continued to take the lead against Pierce with a 25-14 at the end of the second set. Sophomore Jordan Nunez served the floor that night with 25 servicing aces, which gave the Cougars 25 points for their scoreboard. For the Cougars, in the third set, the Brahmas stepped up their game, giving the Cougars a challenge. To close the set, Canyons ended up closing the set with a 25-21 final lead. COC, with a dominating night, took home the W by shutting down all the 3 sets against Pierce.
So what is the secret to COC's volleyball program year after year? Familiarity. COC Women's Volleyball welcomes back a coach honoree with a history of success. Kyle Kawamoto hits the court to see why this storied leader is returning after 6 years away.
Good cover. Camilla, good things happen when you swing.
COC's Cougar Volleyball is back on the courts to play for their 2022 season. But there is something different about the team. For this season, what is really changing is the return of a 5-time Western State Conference Coach of the Year honoree. The delay for her 20th season is finally underway after a 6-year leave, handling something larger than volleyball.
When I first was going to finish my tenure as the curriculum chair, it's a very intense reassignment as a faculty member. 80% of your obligation to the college is reassigned from teaching to the curriculum chairpersonship. When I originally was approached by my faculty peers to assume that role, I said to the district I would be unable to do both my coaching job and the curriculum job.
Oh, that's money right there. There you go, Joe.
I felt very confident that volleyball would be in great hands. We had just won 3 consecutive conference championships. We had just gone to the state tournament. We had just finished 3rd in the state of California.
Nice!
With some decisions, sometimes life just falls right into place.
I was at a time in my life where I had young children. So even though it took a ton of work, it was the kind of work that I could schedule a little bit better, whereas with coaching, you travel, you're on your team's schedule, you do whatever your team needs, so it's a little less flexible.
Coaching volleyball takes more than just being a coach. It involves teaching something larger than the game and sport itself to the players.
Obviously, Lisa is very privy to the academic side of College of the Canyons, being in curriculum for the last 6 years. So that kind of stuff that she brings outside of just pure volleyball stuff, but making sure that they're keeping up with their classes and they have the kind of support that they need if they're struggling in a class or whatever it may be.
While teaching her players about teamwork, Coach Hooper demonstrates by helping Coach Nate and Coach Clay with work that goes into play for the season.
I think it's been a great program for me to come into, not being here before. Everybody's been so welcoming, so that's been great.
We're all we mesh really well together, and I think it's just going to get even better as the season goes on.
Excited, thrilled. These are some of the feelings of coming back. For Coach Hooper, she and her team will continue to play what they love.
This program is very dear to me. The coaching staff has stayed largely intact for almost 20 years, and I think that makes a significant impact on the quality of the teams that we're able to produce.
Reporting from College of the Canyons, I'm Kyle Kawamoto.
Personal training and fitness is not just popular, but influential as well. Gianna Echeverria steps into a garage-turned-gym to explore one trainer's dreams.
Cameron Hernandez started working out for herself while she was still in school. She quickly understood what her goals were shifting towards.
I realized I wanted to be able to combine my love for fitness and also mental health and all of that. I'm very passionate about mental health. I hired a coach, a personal trainer. She really combines the mental aspect of everything, and also her love for fitness really helped me realize that I could combine psychology and sports exercise together and really make a life out of it.
Going into a commercial gym can be very intimidating. This is why Cameron built her training space right in her garage.
And I know a lot of women don't feel comfortable going to the gym for several reasons that we all know, and I think I started to build a safe place to fully express and empower.
Something that sets Cam aside from the rest is the fact that she can achieve a certain mindset for every client.
When girls switch their outlook on what's on the bar rather than what I'm looking like, and it's more of a mental, spiritual type of experience. It's not just for surface level results. I think it's way easier for them to show up every day and stick with it.
For Canyons News, I'm Gianna Echeverria.
With Breast Cancer Awareness Month right around the corner, it's time to put on pink to show support. Reporter Natalie Dodds tells us how a local nonprofit is keeping spirits high for those going through the battle against cancer.
While the pandemic taught us how to isolate, there is one organization that kept its faith high and their doors open to those that needed it. Circle of Hope is an organization that helps Santa Clarita's cancer community by ensuring that every patient gets everything that they may need.
In the Circle of Hope. And then I found out they have a grant program. And it's yay!
There is much that the organization offers, from financial help, therapy, and a wide variety of classes.
Normally I'm here probably, I'd say 3 times a week at the various classes. I usually do the sound bath, the yoga, the flower arranging, the jewelry making.
Circle of Hope's mission is to help their clients access and understand the treatment process with a wide range of programs and classes so that they may have a brighter future for tomorrow.
They have Swedish massage. But the flower arranging and the jewelry making is, you just get out of your head, and you're not a cancer patient at that moment anymore. So it makes you feel back to being human again. So I'm very grateful for this place.
The Vision Circle of Hope is creating for the cancer community of Santa Clarita ensures that no one has to fight this battle alone, but that there is, in fact, a circle of hope for anyone.
So it's a good feeling to know that you've got just a camaraderie of people and a circle of people who are there for you whenever you need them.
This is Natalie Dodds with Canyons News.
That does it for this edition of Canyons News. I'm Stuart Carpel. Remember, you can catch us on the web at canyonsnews.com.
And I'm Haley Wilson. You can also send us news tips and story ideas to our Twitter handle, CanyonsNews_COC, and follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Have a good night, everybody.